Hi guys, tonight I'm bringing you to Spain. I told you about the band that I discovered this past January, released the new album this past January. The band's name is In Loving Memory. It's a Spanish band who produce some doom death metal, and they are located in Bilbao in Spain. And I am here with the lead singer and guitar player of the band, Juan. Hi Juan, welcome on board. How are you, man?
Hello, Miguel. Thank you. We are fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
It's good to be with you again, man. Thanks a lot for being there again. Um, Juan, so you are the lead singer since 2007, so you were not the singer at the beginning of the formation, as I read on your bio. So you were performing the guitars, but then you replaced the lead singer who left, and then you've been taking the role of a lead singer as well since 2007. Am I right?
Yes, it's correct. We started as a four-guy band, but when we were looking for a singer, only female singers came to make their to take the duty of vocals. So we started with a female vocalist and making some doom gothic, or saying some way, gothic doom metal. So the female vocalist left the band after 1 year, 1 year and a half, because she was so young and wanted to continue her studies. And I took the duty of vocals because we were looking for a vocalist, male or female, but we didn't find anyone that could bring something special to the band. So I asked the guys, hey, what if I start singing? Do you give me, for example, 1 month to test my voice and then we start? They said, well, why not? You are also the guitarist, so you can try. I tried and they like it. I like it too, to be the vocalist. So this way we became just a four member band, all guys, and I prefer not to go on that gothic veil. So I started developing more death metal roles and gutturals to be more on the old school doom death metal.
Yeah, we can indeed say that it's really doom death. I would even say, to my ears, I would even say more, maybe 60% doom and 40% death, maybe, because it's really low. It's really, low tone and low in rhythm, and so it's just my perception of it. But yeah, it's still doom death because there's growls, and yeah. And when you say that the band was looking for a female. For a female person to perform the vocals, was it your intention, the band's intention, to make maybe some chants like a band, like a Draconian, for example, with a female voice on top of a male voice, or really you were looking for a female doing some growls herself?
No, we were looking for just a female to do vocals. We weren't looking for female plus male.
Okay.
For example, our first vocalist didn't make any kind of growls, any kind of guttural, because she didn't like it. And when we were looking for a replacement for her, we didn't know. Hey, we are going to look for a female that makes guttural. We are going to look for a male that sings clean. We didn't care. Just we were looking for a vocalist.
Okay, so you were not really decided if you wanted growls or clear vocals. It was the same for you.
Yes, it was the same for us. But when I took the duty of vocals, I decided to clean guttural because I don't know how to sing clean.
Okay.
I can't sing melodically.
Okay.
I don't know how to do it.
but that's a good when it's perfectly done, within a band. this equilibrium, between the growls, the male growls, and really the symphonic voice. I find it's
Yes,
really poetic. It's really balance is really beautiful as well.
yes, it is. But for that purpose, you need a good male vocalist or a good guttural vocalist, and also a good female vocalist. And when we were looking, we couldn't find any,
Okay.
neither a male, neither female. So we did with what we can, and we can only sing in guttural.
Okay. Okay.
After that,
So
we decided to put some clean or whispers vocals to do something different for not only being guttural all the time.
you said an interesting word there, whisper, because before preparing before going live with you now tonight, I read my questions again, and I was thinking, I was really trying to find a word that describes the lyrics, the vocals on the album, because I will have one question, and it's really out of curiosity, because it really appealed me when I first listened to the album. I said, instrumentally, you feel everything, all the instruments, they are there, it's really balanced, you feel them really, really hard, But I didn't get, because on certain passages, on certain songs, you have really to tend your ear, and be really careful to listen to the voice. You have the impression that the vocals are far behind, are far lower than the instruments. And I was thinking, whispers. You have the impression not to be vocals that you're listening to, but more whisper. You have this voice that is whispering to you, and the instruments are really predominant on top of it. Am I right? Is it something that you did voluntary, and why?
Yes, it is correct. And at In Loving Memory, we don't want to make the voice predominant over instruments. We think that voice is another instrument. So if it is another instrument, we put on the same level that drums, that guitars, that bass, that keyboards. So that's why the vocals is low compared to other productions. For example, you listen any kind of pop, rock, metal album, the voice is the first instrument. For saying that, it is the main instrument.
It's a natural instrument.
Natural instrument that leads all the music. But in Loving Memory, we think that it's just another one instrument. So that's why the voice is at same level that the rest of the instrument. And on clean vocals performed by me is just whispers, because I don't like my voice.
Okay.
My speech. So I prefer to speak very, very subtle. That gives me more pleasant voice for recordings. So that's why I started whisper. The problem with whispers is that it has no the same mid frequency as the normal voice or the guttural voice. So on the mix, it tends to be the rest of the music.
Yeah.
That's a big problem if you want to put the vocals on the same level that the rest of instruments. That's why the impression on this disc is that the vocals are behind the instruments.
Okay, that's good to know, because I was really curious to know about that, because that's the first question I had. I said, wow, musically it's really wow, in your face, in your ears, but the voice, you have the impression. And I was thinking, is it voluntary, or is it maybe you never know, if it's really the wish of the band to mix the album like that. And I read several critics on internet this week about your album, and especially a guy from UK was writing a very good critic, good review on your album. But he said, if I had to give one negative point, that would be the voice that is too far away. But when I read that, I said, I think it's not to be taken as negative, because I think it's the will, it's the people of the band wanted that, and it's part of their work, it's part of the music. They wanted to have this whisper instead of a clear voice, that you hear. And then now I have my answer. It's cool. I have my answer from the singer himself, ladies and gentlemen, Juan
Yeah.
from In Loving Memory. So it's great because since I listened to the album, I had this question in my head all the time. I say I need to ask this question, you know, and because I want to know is this really done on purpose or not? And I was sure, of course, if it's there, it's done on purpose. Otherwise, it would be really you know. A rough, maybe too rough production or something like that. But when you hear the instruments, it's not rough at all. It's really, you know, it's a good production. So I say if it's like that, they wanted it to be like that. So, you know, there's a reason behind. So I was right about that. That was
You were right.
my first question. I see behind you that you own your own CD of the album. Maybe you can show us and
Yes,
look
of
at
course.
guys. Yeah, look at this artwork.
This
Honestly,
is
it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful artwork. And again, as I say all the time, wow, it's beautiful. You will tell us about the artwork in a few seconds because I have a question on that as well. But you know, when I listen to a lot of albums, you know, every week. You know, I have a planning. You know, this week I have to listen to that week, blah blah blah. Every Friday, actually, I listen to 20, 30, 40 albums every week. And I didn't see about your band, you know. And then I saw this artwork coming up, you know, in my researches. I said, wow, that's a beautiful artwork. What is it? And when I saw Melodic Death Doom, ooh, you got me there. Beautiful artwork. Melodic Death Doom, you get me, you know. And then I listened to the album, and you have to know that it's a long album. It's nearly 80 minutes long. It's 1 hour and 18 minutes, I think, something like that. And the particularity of this album. So first thing first. It's your third studio album. The first one was released back in 2008. Then you released the second LP in 2011. Then an EP in 2014. And now it's the third album. So that means that since your second album in 2011, it's been 11 years between your second and your third album. 11 years.
11 years.
So,
Yeah. Took a lot of time.
Yeah, but did you start really? When did you start preparing this album? It took really that many years, or maybe you did a break, you know, or what
No.
happened?
No, we started 2015. We started with this album. We performed our last gig in 2015 in 2nd May because that was my birthday. And that was the last gig we performed because on that date our current drummer at that time decided to leave the band due a new job that requires him to be very, very far from us. So we started thinking, why? Well, it's time for writing new material and record new material. So we were only three. The two guitarists and the keyboard player, because on that time we didn't have a bass player. The bass player, due also job reasons, quit the band months earlier. So on that time, on June 2015, we started. So we had on that time 3 songs already written, and we started recording. And we started from scratch, just sit, the 3 of us, and start writing new material. Our process for writing material is, I normally write the guitars. I bring the guitars in this case, to the rehearsal spot. I play them, I record them, and show to the rest of the band. If they like it, we continue. I bring new riffs. And when we have a lot of riffs, we start putting one behind the other, one in front of the other. So we develop a basic structure song.
Okay.
When we had about 13 songs composed or written, we decided to only put 10 of them on the album. So we discard 3 because we already know that it's impossible to put all the 13 songs in one album. It's too long. It was about 1 hour 5 minutes or so. It was
2 hours and 30 minutes, a triple album. Woo!
so at least when we had all written, we started to record it properly. We did it all by ourselves. On the rehearsal spot, we recorded all the guitars, we recorded the keyboards. On that time, we get a new bass player, so when all was recorded, he started to write his parts, recorded his parts, then we recorded voice, and when we had almost all recorded, our computer crashed. So we lost all the information.
No.
Yeah. So we needed to start again.
Oh
That
my
took
God.
us more than a year.
Oof.
Yeah, that was a mess, a complete mess. And we also had personal problems with people that died. So it took us more time than usual because we never went to a studio that counts every minute you are in a studio and you have to pay it. So we took our time to record properly, to write the right parts, because what you are listening is not only one guitar or two guitars. We wrote about 4 layers of guitars, 4 times solos. We discarded solos. We start again. It took a very long time to just to be fine with us to have a music or songs that we all like it in every aspect. So there is no a single note that we don't like to be there.
And I get that because it's really rich, you know. To come back on the length of the album, it's an album. So I was saying nearly 80 minutes long. So you have to take your time to listen to it. But honestly, it's worth the trip, honestly. But even if you deconstruct the album and listen to one song and then one song there and one song there, each song is super rich. With regards to the instrument and the way it's constructed, you know, it's full of surprises. You never get bored, because each song is really has its own identity, and it's not like a repetition, you know, of verse, you know, chorus and then verse, chorus, verse, chorus. It's really like a trip. Each song, you know, it's a journey, and you never have repetitions even in one unique song, you know. So that's why I really love about this album. The instruments, perfect instruments. You know, the guitars are great on this album. I really love the guitars, the drums as well. Everything is perfect. And if I had to really to select one song that is really my favorite of the album at the moment, the one I especially keep repeating, you know, again and again and again, it's the 5th track of the album, Fractured.
Yes.
Fractured. I love that song. You know, they're all great. Don't get me wrong. All the album is great. You know, there's no bad song on this album. But the 5th one, Fractured, God, it's so catchy. You know, it's so catchy. You have guitar solos on this one that are really, you know, catchy as fuck. You know, and I really love it. So this song is in my playlist for best song 2022 already, and I think it will remain there for months and months to come. You know, because it's really great. So it's 10 tracks. The album is composed of 10 tracks that move from between 7 and 8 minutes each. So we get to 80 minutes nearly for the length of this album. So it was released on the 14th of January under the label Funere. So you changed label recently. I think it's the first time that you release an album under this label, right?
Yes, it is the first time. When we finished the writing on and recording material, we were about 2 years trying to mix the album by ourselves. And after a lot of tries, we decided to get it to one professional studio, to get the final mix, because we pre-mixed it before getting it to the studio. So the studio got the final mix and the mastering. And after that, we started looking for labels. We sent a lot of emails, a lot of links to a lot of labels, and we get a response from some of them. And the offer from Funere was one of the best, and we have a very good relationship with guys from Ebadne, another Spanish doom death metal band, and they were on that level with one of their albums. So we asked them about their relationship with Funere, and they said it was very, very good. So we decided to make maybe uh, with a more underground level than the other ones we received offers, but um, uh, I don't know how to say. Uh, the feelings that Jane, the manager, transmit to us was more intense, more pure, more interest in music than earning money at other levels.
Okay.
So that's what we like. We want to be on a level that wants to release good music, not that wants to earn a lot of money, because we are not going to be famous, we are not going to be a rock star or something like that. We want something that likes our music, that wants to support us. We don't want to be on a very, very big level. We don't need it.
Yeah, I get
We
it.
prefer to remain underground, but being on a level that likes you, that supports you. And if we don't get, for saying 1,000 or 1 million plays, but we only get 100 plays. But if that 100 people that listen to music is people that likes the music because is reaches, sorry, the music reaches to them on a very underground but specialized level, we are pleased to be on that way. We don't need a very big level. I'm sorry for my English
No,
because
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm quite nervous on all the interviews.
Don't be. But I understand that because all you're saying is that basically you prefer to be on a smaller label that gives you, you know, some kind of freedom with the way you write and compose your music, instead of going to a bigger label that says, okay, you have to scratch that, you have to replace that by that, and then in the end you lose your identity as a band.
Yes, because we received offers that said that you need to change this. You need no. We don't want to change anything. We
That's good.
want to reach what we like.
That's good, man. That's good. I don't know, on a scale on 100 bands. I don't know how many bands in these 100 bands who would say, okay, we stick to the smaller label as long as we have the freedom. You know, I would be curious to see that. You know, how many bands? What's the percentage of bands who would go? Oh no, let's go for the money. Let's go bigger. Let's go blah blah blah. But then in the end, we have to change our music and blah blah blah. I don't know. Is it 50-50? Is it? I have no idea. I have no idea, man. But it's good. It's really honorful. You know, it's good. It's really good. It's words that you can feel from music lovers, you know, for passionate people, you know, and it's really good to be passionate. So we can be passionate, you know, by music as listeners, and you see also the bands. They have the same feelings, of course, than us listeners, you know, when they perform. So it's really great. It's really cool, you know. Coming back now to the artwork of the album, because it's the thing that appeals, you know, the eyes, and appeals, you know, the listener to listen to your music, you know. And honestly, it's the thing, when I saw it, I say, wow, I need to get that, because it's really the kind of cover that I love. So can you maybe explain a little bit the process of the creation of this cover? Who performed this cover, and what's the meaning behind that?
Well, I did all the covers for In Loving Memory because I'm also a cover artist.
Wow.
So I started from scratch. When we were recording The Withering, the theme that we were looking for is a conceptual one that is about the end of the human race, and in all the ways that we can exterminate all the people. And it must be because nature forces. For example, because a gigantic earthquake, a flood that sink all the people, acid rain, an asteroid collision with Earth, something like that. So we established the theme. I established the lyrics for the album. So when I started to make the cover, and this cover has already 6 years, when it was made 6 years ago, I started from scratch. I was looking for something different from our previous covers, something with more color, something with a lot of detail, and I simply put the same thing that are on the lyrics on one cover. So if you read the lyrics, and if you understand the lyrics, because they are not easy at all, you will see that on the cover there are a lot of elements from the lyrics. For example, we have here a clock that it is not on the right position. It is inverted because it goes for the reversal that says that the magnetic poles of the Earth goes inverting the polarity. So this wants to mean that the poles are inverted. The roots of the covers are for the song Marty's London Flight. On the back we have a lot of stars that goes for Stellar Runway. And
Cool.
what else?
So each song is really represented on the cover.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Each song has one detail of the cover. I tried to represent all the songs. It was not easy.
wow, that's very interesting. So it's basically a summary of the lyrics that are on the artwork.
Yes,
Wow.
it's summary of the lyric.
But you're the one who draw it. It's you. It's
Yes.
written from you. Okay.
Yes, but it's not hand drawn. It was digitally made.
Yeah.
All the covers digitally.
Yeah, but still, I mean, so you write the lyrics, you create the artwork, man, you do everything. It's crazy.
I didn't do everything. I composed and made music, but all the members of the band took part on the composition. The mixing process was made by the other guitarists. Also, composing or writing the keyboards was made by the other guitar player. What else? All related to lyrics and related to artwork is on my way. But every one of us took part trying to give some of us to this album. So we did all by ourselves, but we all did something for this album.
As a team. Another material that we didn't talk about yet. I checked on YouTube even tonight again because and I found that there are a couple, even 2, 3 or 4 video clips, lyric videos on a selected song of the album. What's the process of these lyric videos? Because I see that more and more bands, when they are putting out an album, they instead of filming a clip, they create like lyrics videos. Is really the band themselves who create the lyrics videos, or do you maybe call someone to do it for you? How does it work?
Well, for this album we did 4 lyric videos. 3 of them were made by me, and another one for the song "The Dance of the Moons" was made by a guy from I think it's Peru or Chile that offers Funere to make a video for us. Why didn't film ourselves playing like other bands? First of all, because the pandemic. We had here very strict restrictions. We didn't want to put ourselves in risk filming something without a face and mask. So we decided to make a lyric video because it's easy for us to get some clips, put them in order, and put the lyrics behind it. Than filming ourselves, hiring a photographer, hiring models, and getting one place to record. It's very costly process.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I guess we're gonna take a quick break, and to illustrate what we talked about now with Juan, I'm gonna illustrate to you what we're talking about with a selection of these, lyric videos, and we are coming back just after for one more question about a specific video. So, coming back to In Loving Memory, I know that when I was younger, there was a band that I listened to, an American band called Alter Bridge, that I listened to, and they had the song called In Loving Memory. And I remember when I was younger, I listened to it, countless times. Is there a link with that or not at all?
No, not at all. No. The band's name came when we started back in 2005. We were looking for a name, as all bands, and we had a lot of ideas about names. And I was watching Dream Theater show, and James Labrie, the singer, sang a song that I don't remember its name, but it said something like "In loving memory of our child," and I remember, "In loving memory, that's a good name." Yeah. I presented it to the rest of the band. We all liked the name, so we took it.
Okay.
Then we registered the name for Europe, and well, we continue with that.
That's cool, because it carries the type of music perfectly on its shoulder, because In Loving Memory in English is something we say when somebody close dies, and on the tomb, on the stone, the tomb, the I don't know how we call that in English, the tomb, the stone, the tombstone, the tombstone. That's right. It's always says In Loving Memory, blah blah blah, and it corresponds really perfectly to the type of music, death doom, obviously death, and yeah, it's well chosen. It's good. And the Withering. How can you describe the meaning of the title of the album, The Withering?
Well, when we had the idea of the end of the human race, we were looking for an appropriate title for the album, and we had a bunch of them. the end, the total end, the final countdown. And the other guitarist, Jorge, came with the idea, why not the withering? It's not saying that the end is here, but it's like it's the end will come. All is, I don't know how to explain it because it's very difficult to say that something it's dying because the title didn't say that it is dying. It said that it is slowly processed for the humankind to be exterminated. It's not direct. It's not the extermination. It's not something. It's more vague. I don't know how to say in English. Vague. I don't know how to say it. Sorry. Something that it's not very straightforward.
Okay, but it sounds good. It sounds good to the ear, and it goes well again with the theme and with everything on the album. So before moving on to the next part and last part of the interview, let's go back to this video that we were talking about. You know, the video with the real characters there. So this is a clip from The Dance of Moods. So here we are back with Juan one more time and one last time. This was a specific discussion about your album again. Great album, great achievement, man. It's one of my best discoveries for this first part of the year 2022. And yeah, it was a great discovery. And now moving on now to some more personal stuff, you know, what about your metal education? What are your favorite bands? What bands make you give you, you know, the envy of being part of a metal band? Why specifically Death Doom? Why not pure death metal? Why not pure doom metal? Is it like a pure coincidence? You didn't think about it at all. It just happened to be like that. And what are your main influences, and what are your dream concerts, and yeah, things like that. You know, I know it's a lot of questions in the same time, but if you can give us maybe your background as a heavy metal lover, and as a metal guy performing in a band.
Okay, for my personal preferences, when I was about 16, or yeah, I think it was 16, I discovered Judas Priest. I was in the high school, and a guy from my class came with a disc called The Painkiller. And I said, oh, The Painkiller? I started listening to it. I was in love with that album, so I started to listen more metal music. And in that time, I discovered also Metallica, Megadeth, Testament, and yeah, that sounds good. I want more. And then years later, I get into death metal with Cannibal Corpse. And
that's a huge...
yeah, that sounds good. And I started to listen to more death metal bands. more industrial bands like Creep Factory. And years later, I discovered a band that changed for me the concept of music. That it was My Dying Bride.
Yeah.
With the Angel at the Dark River, I fell totally in love with that style. At that time, I think I was playing brutal death metal in a band called Forensic with the first bass player of Eleven Memory and the last drummer of Eleven Memory. I was playing brutal death metal, and I discovered My Dying Bride. I discovered then Anathema, also what else? Paradise Lost, and I liked it a lot. And when on the last stages of Forensic, my brutal death metal band, I decided that I wanted to make that kind of music. So when I quit the band, I told the bass of Raúl to join me on one project. I want to make something different. I don't want to make thrash like in my early days. I don't want to make death metal because I like death metal, but I want something that gives more passion to my needs, for me, more personal music. So he liked the idea. So we start looking for drummer. We put some ads. The guy came in, and on the first rehearsal, Jorge, the actual guitarist of Lumen Memory, came in. He liked also those bands, and we decided to start in Loving Memory, uh, just making doom, not doom death. The death metal parts came later when I took the duty of vocals. We decided to get more influence from bands like Dark Tranquility and the first three albums of In Flames. We liked them a lot, and we also like bands like Opeth, for example. So
Of
we
course.
decided to do a mix of all of them, and just to create something that in our area it's not so common, that is using two different guitars that makes different things to create a composition of two instruments that complements one each other, and we have also the bass, we have the drums, but it is based more on like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest write or wrote their albums with two different guitars that complements one each other. So that's the root of In Loving Memory. And then we add all our influences: Paradise Lost, My Dying Bride, Anathema. Also, we have parts from other bands like Gojira. It's not very, it's subtle, but it is there. We also like, for example, Rammstein. We like it a lot. And of course, death metal acts like I said, Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, and more brutal bands. Progressive music. For example, we like a lot of Soen. I don't know if
Oh
you
yeah,
know
yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah.
They are fantastic. And we listen all kind of music, not only metal, but mainly metal. And with time, we try to do our best. We try not to other bands. It's impossible, but we try not to do it. But we want to make our based on the idea that we will have two different guitars making and complementing each other. Because of our influences from, as I said, Iron Maiden and Judas. Then surround it with all the doom and death influences.
So you have a really wide panel of inspirations there, and it's great because you just gave me some names that are really most of my favorite bands. You said Opeth, Dark Tranquility, In Flames. We have all the same basis. We started all with Judas Priest and Metallica, and then we move forward and more go deeper in the extreme metal. It's strange to see, this evolution, from people to another, and that people tend, to start with the same things, being young, and then go deeper and deeper in the extreme, and then you pick up some elements from there to there. It's basically the way that we all take, and. With regards to, it's a question that I like to ask in the end of each of my interviews. If you had the opportunity to go on tour with one band that you can choose, only one, please.
Only.
No cheating. One.
Okay, only one.
I give you a few seconds to think about it. In the meantime, let's go again to watch a clip of In Loving Memory, and we are back just after with the answer of Juan. So we are back, Juan. Did you make up your mind about my question? So I repeat my question. If you could choose one band with whom you would tour in Spain, in Europe, or even in the world, making the cover of the band, maybe only one band, who will it be and why?
Well, I think it would be, for me, I don't know the rest of the band, but for me, I would say Meshuggah.
Meshuggah. Okay.
Yes. Because they are probably one of the best bands out there. They are fantastic musicians. I like them a lot, and I think we and I personally could learn a lot of music from them. And I am a very fan of Meshuggah, so I would like to be on the tour, even watching it. If I don't play, I don't mind. I would like to be. I don't know how to say it, the person who goes around the world with the band. I don't know.
As we say in French, we say even you could even be their groupie. We say groupie. It's a French word. I don't know, but it's really a groupie. It's the person who get just to do the go with the band. Just to be with the band. Because they are super fan. Groupie. Yeah. But yeah. So.
Yes. Yeah. If we could tour with someone, I would choose Meshuggah.
So you're gonna be a happy man in April. Because you heard because they announced this week that their new album is coming up in April.
Yes, so it will be fantastic, I think.
Because it's been a while. Huh?
Yes, there's a single out there now, and it sounds as all Meshuggah singles, brutal.
So I will think about you when the album will release. I say, oh, that's the week of my friend Juan, because he will have new material from his favorite band. So now that I know that, I always like, to when I interview bands, what is their poison, with regards to music, what are really, appealing them, so I really like that. So I guess that's it. I guess we did. I asked all the questions I wanted to ask. It was a great interview. We learned a lot about the band, a lot about the album, the artwork itself. That was really interesting. The story about the artwork, that is a summary of all the songs that are captured on the album. It was really interesting to know that. And that's it. So guys, again, this is In Loving Memory. So a Spanish melodic death doom band who released their third studio album, The Withering, this past January the 14th under the label Funere, and I really strongly recommend you don't miss that album, just for the even if you're not really into death doom, just to see the technicity, the different feelings from one to another that you move even in one song, so just discover this album because it's really great, and that was really a pleasure to have you on board, Juan. Thanks again for your time. It's been 50 minutes now of a recording session. It was a long interview, but really interesting, and I hope you liked it, and maybe I will give you the final word of this conversation.
Okay, I want to thank you, Miguel, for this opportunity, for this interview, and also I would like to thank all your viewers for being there, for support music, for support musicians, and or listening to bands that they are not on big levels, but they want to offer something to people, their own music, because we are not doing covers, we are doing our own music, and I think it's important that people support bands that make their own music.
Exactly. Honesty, purity, and music lovers as a band to music lovers, as listeners to us, So beautiful and kind words from you, Juan. And guys, again, please support this band, discover this album, discover their music, and support the band. And don't worry, Juan, if I have one time the opportunity sooner or later to see you on stage, I'll be there. And we never know, what can happen in life. So I hope maybe one day this will be a reality. But in the meantime, thanks again for being there. That was really a rich interview. That was really great. And yeah, in loving memory, guys. Thanks, Juan. Thanks a lot. And see you next time, man.
See you. Bye, baby.
Bye.
Bye.